is called Antara. Like if we are gonna talk about that, then okay, well then our specialty is the in-between space.
It
That's
is.
the end of the conversation.
It
You know?
is.
Like it's the in-between space and what's in the in-between space.
Right.
In between space is like a lot of unknowns. What do you do in the in-between space? You know, you listen for your wisdom. How do you listen for your wisdom? You
Right.
know, you rest and you play and you inquire and you feel and, you know, you get curious and you notice what you do in the in-between space, you know, and then you fucking wait.
Right. Right.
And whatever comes up in that space, whether it's fear, whether it's anger, whether it's joy, whether it's like excitement and celebration, you know, it's just like holding space to um, understand yourself better so that we can um, be uncomfortable in this collective and societal in between space that we're in so that we can actually create something, a different culture that benefits everybody. Like we're saying, like you want to get better in your in between space because we are in an in between space and we need to honor that we're in an in between space.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? It is not an accident that we are called Antara. You should probably listen to that.
Yeah.
And I also think the tricky part is that I think we are always going to be in Antara. And I don't think that we're ever going to feel 100% good about this business. Like, I don't feel like we're going to be like, this is it. We're done. It's exactly right.
Mm.
I'm not sure that that's ever going to come. I think that because we are going to hang out, we like are experts at hanging out in the in-between space ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we
I mean,
can.
I honestly feel really fucking good about it right now. I mean, I feel amazing
I
about
feel good about it, but I'm also saying that it's there. There can be a total shift, and like, boom, we'll be in another direction, and like, we're just gonna have to be okay with that.
it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's the I'm talking about that in that regard. Like, it's definitely getting clear of what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm tempted now after we have this conversation to go back into the text and see like how this is like, you know, like really if we are really honing on this part.
Yeah.
Because I just feel really strongly about like the in between space now. I'm like, there's no way that we're called this and not like that's why we're called this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that name came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, and then I didn't even tell you about it. I just put it in the branding book as a like, and then you're like, what is this name?
So why is Antara wisdom from the liberated future?
Yeah. Okay, so the liberated future
Mm-hmm.
is a time where everybody is liberated
Mm-hmm.
from fixed mind, from this fixed way of thinking, because there is nothing that we can actually hang on to. It's always going to change. It's always going to change. And in the liberated future, we know that. We
Yeah.
all know that collectively. And we're all resting in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the wisdom of the liberated future.
Mm-hmm.
And now is the time to actually start living into that. So now
And,
we're practicing so
right.
that,
And practicing being in that in between space, in the
yeah,
space that is actually the nature of our minds. Practicing being in the nature of like what it means to be in a impermanent, ever changing, in between state world. And so when we can like practicing that means resting and means playing and being curious. And when we can do those things, well, first of all, it's a completely different culture than like what the culture is right now. And from that space, like deep wisdom arises that will guide us, that will guide us to just create something completely new. in alignment with this truth of that our reality is the in-between space. Our reality is always in between something. It's always unknown.
Yep.
Mhm.
Does the tagline make sense to you now?
Yeah, no, it has made sense. It has made sense to me. I just wasn't sure the connection. Like the connection has been challenging, you know?
Does it feel right what I just said?
Yeah,
What we
it
just
does.
talked about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this powerful kind of truth of like the truth is the unknown, you know.
Yeah.
We're never like our minds are always changing. Like nothing is graspable. Like
No,
everything is always changing. And so we're always gonna be in the unknown. We can't hold on to anything. And that's the lie of this world that needs to die. It's like any of this is actually well worthy to be held on to, but like possible to even hold on to. You can't even hold on to it even if you
possible.
loved it. Even if you loved it and you deemed it the worthiest thing in the world, you can still can't hold on to it.
Can't hang on to anything. You can't hang on to people. You can't hang on to places. You can't hang on to feelings. You can't hang on. Think about it. Like nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing is yours because you can't even hang on to a solid sense of you. What is you? There's not even a you. Even that's a lie. It's like, even we. There's not even a solid I.
Wait, tell us why the you is a lie.
Well, what is you? You is never anything solid. It is always changing. The you of me, or the you of me. The ooh,
Hold up
the
now. Woo. The UI, like the university.
you of I.
We're in college right now. We're in college for
We
sure.
are. We're in college. The I that is here now is not. Oh, the I that is here now is not the I that existed yesterday. Is not the I that existed when I was 15. Is not the I that I existed when I was 10. Is not the I that will exist tomorrow. Is not the I that will exist when I'm 60. I is constantly changing all the time. Even before this conversation, I was different than after this conversation.
Your
Like,
hair looks different.
what I can I possibly hang on to? What is solid about me? There's nothing solid about me at all. Hate
Are
to
you gonna
disappoint you.
are you gonna melt? Are you gonna explode right now? You
Hey,
melt.
my cells are probably, if we looked at them on a microscope, they're probably constantly changing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Like if I were to look at myself on a more like smaller level, it's like I'm probably even physically constantly changing.
Yeah.
Like
And
the
so
body that I had 5 minutes ago is not the body I'm going to have 10 minutes from now.
yeah. So there's always I don't even know about like using this word dying even, but like I was gonna say there's always you're always dying because you're always new because you're always
You're always
dying
new.
being born again.
Yes,
Uh,
you are constantly.
and because of that, like it kind of leaves us in a perpetual space of being in between because it's kind of like indistinguishable when you're dying and when you're being born. Like moment to moment to moment is different, and so you're just constantly in the space of the in between, and that can be a very small, like minute sense of like anything is possible right now. Like nothing is known right now, so I can do anything. I literally can do anything that I want because nothing is known right now. If we think about it that way, we should all be in fear. Like if like we should all be in fear, but but like we've been taught to believe that like this is solid, you know? And then the truth is, like, if you sink into the fact that nothing is known right now, the really, really the truth is that, like, the truth inside of that fear will be released because that's, you know, the truth. Your body settles into the truth. I think the fear comes when we're trying to escape the truth that nothing is known.
Oh yeah, yeah, because that's why we're trying to solidify everything all the time. Like, because nothing is solid, even we aren't solid, we are in constant fear of that.
Hmm.
Because, and so we solidify I all the time. I
Hmm.
am this, I am that. Look at me, I have long hair, I have this, I'm fat, I am thin, I'm whatever the fuck I am. Like, but like, it's like the I really isn't there in the way that we perceive it or that we want to believe it is.
Hmm.
So we're constantly trying to make it solid, but it's a lie.
Hmm.
It's a lie. It's a lie we tell ourselves to get by.
Hmm.
It's like it's this lie we always talk, because there's so much fear of that. And that's why we develop whole identities of ourselves. Like, we create identities to just hang on, have something to hang on to, because it's scary. It's scary for people to think that that there's actually, like, it's constantly moving and changing.
And how, like, in interpersonal relationships, how do we, when we first meet someone, we might be scared of them. We might have fear. We are fearful of people that we don't know. And what releases that fear is when you get to know them and you actually are just like, oh, okay, they're cool. You know, I thought you were so and so, you know, or, you know, whatever it is, you know. And so that's the same thing with the unknown. The more that we get to know it, the more that we become familiar with it, that we build relationship to it, then we start to release that fear and just let it be unknown.
Are
Let
you
us,
saying that we're going to make friends with our Antara?
yeah, that's the goal.
Make friends with our Antara. Ugh. Some people are going to come into this and run the other direction screaming.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
You want me to what?
They'll like run away screaming, or they're just like silently like creep out the side or like like this is not